Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Hooded London. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. This is for entertainment purpose only. I like to go back to the 4chan post because I find it to be very interesting with all the movements, all the behaviors, all the suspicious people that were at the body cam in Banfield, and the grub truck comes into line with the 4chan post, allegedly. That's my personal opinion. Apparently, the night of the murders, Eaton and Lodge got into a fight at Essex, and Eaton said Lodge had chivalry balls from steroids. Xana was talking shit too. Lodge has long-standing beef with Eaton, and apparently Maddie too. Barry and Lodge are butt buddies who talked about murder fantasies before. Also something about Barry being Eaton's suitor and not doing well with it. So chivalry balls comment triggered the steroids rage in Lodge, and his little twink sidekick carried out their long-standing fantasy together. This is at least what I gathered from the fraternity. Number 1, person doing the wet work and up to 3 people on the lookout. Sounds like the 4 figures running. Frat beef and jealousy over Xana, perhaps. The one guy, Barry, his parents own a professional cleaning service. The poster claims to even know where the knife is. It all checks out so far. Barry seems to be quite the incel. He is the only one in the frat to boost the GPA. He was also Eaton's tutor. I have it on good authority. Cousin is a cop in a nearby town, but called in to help in Moscow once school started back up. Apparently, the investigation is looking directly at the Sigma Chi frat party. Eaton and Xana attended from 8 to 9 that night. We were aware that the Sigma Chi fraternities were under the microscope in the beginning, and the president said there wasn't any cameras there. The president of Sigma Chi. He did not have any update on their timeline after they left 9 to 1:45, but did say it looked like the investigation is honing in on 2 suspects on the party that night, and updates should publicly name them by the end of the week. That didn't happen. Sigma has made their socials private and removed all info from Facebook going back a few years. That is true. They went back right up to 2018, and everything after 2018 was on private. They believe Eaton and Xana were the main targets stemming from an argument in the night. Downstairs, survivors could hear 2 males rummaging through the room above them. Figured it was an after party, locked the doors and went to bed. I think they're talking about the surviving 2 roommates. Downstairs, survivors could hear 2 males rummaging through the room. When they discovered them in the morning after 30 minutes before the 911 call, they called their friends at Sigma to come over, who in turn called the police. It's right across the street, and for whatever reason, they believed it was people from the Sigma upstairs around 2:15 that night. Pay attention to the boys. The 4 figures running was at 3:12. Back door was left open, one dead in bed, the other blocking the room doors with their body. We were told that Eaton's body was blocking the room, allegedly. Police just updated their Facebook to reiterate they're not looking into activities of that night. Strange. Only the murders, which to me suggests something went on. Fight, drugs, etc., and spilled into anger later that night and got them killed. Also didn't want to release profile they created as it would cause undue fear in their community, the Greek lifestyle. Then these are people answering each other in comments. Looks to be the case, never relax around roided up wigger Zoomers. So Dirty South Lodge did it and Rogan Jack was in on it and Titties was in the wrong place at the wrong time, pardon my language. Madison, example, Mad and in Madison's bed. So Kaylee and Madison wasn't supposed to be in the same room. Yes, except Rogan Jack was on it. It was Schizo, was not in on it. It was Schizo, C-U-N-T, Barry and Dirty South Lodge. Then somebody asked, how was Jack on it? I don't buy it. The comment about ample opportunity was in response to someone asking why Rogan Jack didn't take revenge on Dirty South Lodge if he was aware that Dirty South Lodge had killed his girlfriend Mads. Goes on to say, Anonymous says, wonder if the fraternity is Eaton's brother. Taking suggestions for what to call this mess so far, I've got the Ballsack Massacre, Nutgate, Bromagedin, the U of I Zuma murders. Then it continues by saying, David Barry liked tweet that day after the murders. Lots tweets about leaving the country, probably in the reference to sports game, but shows it's on his mind. Bro, you can see the King's Road house from David S.X. room. Once the third floor light turned off, they did it. 19 minutes total, walk included. Talked about the shit at Bishop Kelly and S.X. Lodge. And Eaton got into a fight that night. Sana allegedly talking shit. David Lodge had problems with Mads also. This shit has been brewing since Fall Rush last year. CUNTS went quiet on SM for 2 weeks before and after the deed. Barry's mom is a paralegal, so he knows not to say shit. David Lodge cleared his SM. Had to take a shit. SX22 saw Eaton, Xana, Lodge and Barry at the party. David Lodge and Eaton have issues back to Eaton's rushing. Eaton talks shit about Lodge taking roids and having his balls shrivel. Lodge pissed as he wanted Xana for dumbass youngest like Eaton. Tutors are signed. Barry blew it with Eaton. Eaton a second-year freshie. Barry also self-conscious about his pick blood and talks empty shit. Barry and Lodge talked about the shit in general for a while. Talked about leaving their cell phones behind on YouTube. Autoplay. No pings. No guns. Too loud. Talked about leaving their cell phones behind on YouTube. Autoplay. No pings. No guns. Too loud. Area dead early Sunday morning. Barry even calls out shit media. Media is saying Titties was target. That shit is false. Titties bad luck. It's really awful. Targets was Eaton, Xana and Maddie. Matt talk shit about Lodge, never acknowledge Barry. Matt's is right about the one he is a CUNT. David Lodge should have also taken up Barry. Then he continues by saying, WKF, Dirty South Lodge and Eaton hated each other. Barry got a bid because our house GPS sucked and the NC was on our asses. Barry is schizo. Dirty South and Eaton could be more opposite. Mads did talk shit. Dirty also pissed. She was with Rogan. That's Jake Rogan. Had to charge, no plug. Mads also target. Titty is not a target at all. Bad luck. Well-known fact. High probability some brothers are aware. Rogan has ample opportunities and will play the grieving boyfriend. Barry actually talked about this shit in detail in the past. Wear electrician glove. Was that the glove they were actually wearing in the Banfield body cam footage? Put on baggy clothes after walk away. BTW, Barry's dad works in a professional cleaning company. That shit was disposed in a garden city over the Thanksgiving holiday. I personally believe that there's something with the 4chan post. It makes sense with the motive. It makes sense with the 4 figures we saw running. It makes sense with the Banfield video. It makes sense with things happening in the glove truck. This was the glove that was found by Chris McDonough from the interview room outside the house. This is one of the 3 unidentified male DNAs. Could this be the glove that they were talking about in the 4chan post? This was when the police put out the report that they were searching for a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. I wonder how they came about to Brian Christopher Koberger is 2015 white Hyundai Elantra. The FBI and the police got tips from thousands of people. I wonder if this was a plot to frame Christopher Koberger for this. Found this to be interesting. From the toxicological report, you could learn a great deal about where their descendants were during the hours before their death. What, if any, drugs they were taking, their state of mind. Dr. Michael Baden said, did they take drugs that could have caused them to sleep and not wake during the encounter? I find that to be very interesting because Maddie was clearly very intoxicated, and I wonder if someone could have slipped a roofie into a drink. And I personally believe that number 9 was putting something in Maddie's mouth too, allegedly. Anyway, the toxicological reports are very important, and the coroner said that they did not need to take toxicological reports. Let's see if that comes up in the trial. This was the Alpha Phi sorority that Kaylee went to. You see Kaylee in the corner. You see her friend Eva sitting down to the left, second left in the first row. The sororities and frats are a very ugly place. Their behaviors, the bullying that goes on there, and they have severe punishments towards anyone who talks against them. It's like a secret Greek lifestyle. The question is, why did it take 8 hours for DM and BF to call authorities? What was going on? Is it because they knew that allegedly the Sigma Chi boys and the fraternities were behind it? They must have just locked up their rooms and went to sleep knowing what was going on, because it wasn't avoidable with all the noise, the screaming, the fights. We know that Xana fought for life. So did Kaylee, according to her father. May they rest in peace. I found this to be very interesting. Last year, a year ago, there was a platform collapse at the University of Idaho Fraternity House.
4 people to the hospital. Now U of I's Phi Kappa Tau chapter is in some hot water for building the platform. Abby Davis, with our sister station, spoke with a student who was at the party on Saturday about the moments leading up to the collapse.
Saturday night didn't turn out like University of Idaho Junior Anna East Herb planned.
It was just really chaotic all at once because no one was really expecting it to happen.
What happened? A raised platform collapsed, injuring 4 people. It was built by U of I Phi Kappa Tau fraternity members.
It's like an every year tradition that they have.
Here's what they built in 2017.
You can climb up using a structure they build kind of to climb up onto it. It's like a little lookout area basically. I think people just kept climbing up when everyone was trying to get them to come down, and it was just at max capacity.
And people were trying to get them down because they recognized that there were too many people on there.
Because I went up there because I thought, I wanted to see what it looked like. It looked fun. and they immediately kicked me off. And then once that happened, like 5 minutes after, it fell down, and they were still trying to get people down.
And that was fraternity brothers trying to regulate the situation.
Probably just trying to have like some risk management.
Moscow Volunteer Fire Chief Brian Nickerson says the platform that collapsed was 6 or 7 feet tall. First responders arrived at the scene around 11:30 p.m. Herb says at least 30 people were standing on the platform when it collapsed. Some people were underneath.
The men in the fraternity were trying to get everyone who wasn't injured or wasn't involved in it at all to leave property immediately and like get out of the situation so no one else got hurt, and to get to people who were injured.
Nickerson told KTVB first responders took the 4 injured people to Gritman Medical Center. One person was later flown to another hospital nearby because of severe injuries. University administration say they are, quote, working with the injured students' parents and are trying to better understand the situation. I also reached out to U of I's Interfraternity Council and the Phi Kappa Tau fraternity, but did not hear back. As a member of the Greek community herself, Herb says she's hoping for better risk management in the future.
When someone tells you something, it's probably for your safety, not because they're not trying to make you have fun, you know. That's definitely a lesson for a lot of people, I think, is making sure there are those extra safety steps and just having them in place and prepare for the worst almost.
The fraternities and sororities in the Greek lifestyle seem to have their own rules and regulations. It's strange that the university doesn't follow much about what's going on there. Whether it's hazing or abuse of alcohol drinking, or possibly even the 4chan article, if that is true, then they could be involved in the quadruple murders. Allegedly. Please like, share, and subscribe.